Barstool Rugby fans, how's it going? Happy Wednesday, middle of the week here. We're back for some more interviews, this time again with the Seawolves player of the match. It's going to be from the last match against the New England Free Jacks. Was a huge matchup. Seeing the top of the West and the top of the East kind of come together in a big clash. So super excited for the interviews today. Going to go ahead and invite our Seawolves account, and then we should be good to go and get started with these interviews here. Sam Matenga on first for the match, one of their props, and then secondly we'll move on to Dan Kriel, number 12 this week, back of the match. So very excited for these ones today, and we'll get those guys in here once they're joined. Sam, how's it going today, brother?
Hey, good. Oh,
Doing well. So my name is Dylan Saucedo. I play rugby at the University of Utah. I'm here with Barstool Rugby. Our goal for these interviews is kind of to showcase a little bit of the player yourself, and then a little bit of your organization as well, kind of how the season's going and how you guys are moving about the rest of it. So very excited to get that in today, and just grateful to talk to you and have you on here today. So just an introduction on this guy here. Sam's in his third year of his MLR career as a force in the pack for the Seawolves. At 25, he's also spent some time on the pitch with the Tasman Mako, an NPC premiership over New Zealand. Off the field, he focuses on eating good food, spending good time with the family, as he's shown in his Instagram reels. So happy to have you on today, man. We're going to talk some rugby, talk some stuff, and very excited. How you doing? How's the body feeling after that big matchup?
it was pretty sore the next day, but feeling all good now. Just enjoying my bye week, obviously. Spending some quality family. Currently in Vancouver at the moment, so I'll just call you.
There you go.
I'm Granville Island in Vancouver.
Nice.
And so I'll just check it on in the car while we're out and about.
Yes, sir. 100%. Grateful to have you on today. It was a talk about the match. Super great match to watch. Very exciting throughout the match. Last week, I kind of touched on, how exciting your matches have been throughout the year. Really got some good insight from the boys last week. And one of the things that I said was basically these have been some of the best games we've seen, all season. Some of the best rugby I've been watching. And you guys keep kind of putting those on the plate for us. And it's been great. Hectic first 15 minutes. Free Jacks kind of had a try there at the 21-minute mark after that yellow card. You guys had, I believe the score was 7-3 at that point. Mac had drilled that first penalty goal there. What kind of conversation happened right there after that try? What's kind of the mindset moving into the rest of the game? How do you guys kind of find your way in that path?
I think me personally, I was pretty tired at the time because we went through phases and we're defending hard and we're trying to make strides. But at that point, I think the team was quite composed, you'd say. The chat around, can't quite remember the chat per se, but it was pretty much just like along the lines of, next job, we'll get kick off back to them, make them kick back to us, and then just go through our plays. And I felt like we just trusted our system the whole time. There wasn't really, wasn't too much of a rev up from Ricky or anything, trying to tell us that we need to do better. We're good in our system, so I thought, we were just pretty composed at that point, and we just carried on.
Definitely, yeah. The boys last week, Charles and Sam, gave me that same kind of insight, right? Those conversations really are just calming the boys down, kind of get on the same page there, and really just, putting that push up for the next effort. And you guys really did that. That first 15 minutes, like we talked about, very defensive, getting up and off the ground, right? A lot of stops, a lot of phases, a lot of good ball being played there in those first 15. So it was great to watch. And I'm sure, you guys were definitely tired after those first 15. So kind of moving into that end of the first half, you guys had a massive stop at the 5. I believe you secured their lineout after about 10 to 15 phases of ball. Dan Kriel then went on to score a try. We had halftime, then about 10 more minutes back and forth ball. Kind of that kickoff back to their sideline. A kickoff to you guys, and then you guys had a box kick back to their sideline, kind of trapped in there. And then we had a dynamic try off the lineout. Kind of after grabbing that lead, around the 55-minute mark, there was a scrum inside your 22, where it was you, Joe, and DeWald against 3 fresh sets of legs and the Free Jack substitutes. you boys made a statement. What was the mindset kind of going into those kind of scrums? Obviously, it's 55th minute. You guys were, have been playing rugby for that long. 3 fresh sets of legs come on. What's the mindset moving into that?
To be honest, mindset never changed. And in our front row, group, we kind of just talk about whenever we have the ball, because we kind of back ourselves as a forward pack, and every time the opposition have the ball, we look to try and take it from them.
There we go.
And so when they came on, we kind of knew that they were fresh, and we're like, okay, let's see what they got. And then when that ball came in, we all just fired, and it was a kind of a funny, special moment, because it was like, they needed to try and get us back, because we were kind of dominating the scrum throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
And that scrum, when we kind of took their bench out, it was just like, I got up, and then you just see Joe's energy. He was just like, yeah, and I was just like, damn. I was like, oh man, we got this.
There we go. Yeah, no, it's great to see that kind of thing, right? Watching that kind of game, Joe had a lot of energy throughout the game. You had a lot of energy throughout the game. I think it's great to see kind of those 3 front row guys really put that effort in, and then after just celebrate their win, right? Got to take those little ones for what they are, and I think that was a great way to do it for sure. Right after that, guys finished off the game strong, got the W. Probably not the last 20 minutes you'd like to play. Kind of had a few personal mistakes there. That's got to feel awesome. How does that win kind of put you guys in place for the rest of the year?
I mean, the last couple of weeks, I guess we're starting to find our stride, and with that, I guess after winning that game, kind of I guess like reassures us like on our abilities and our skills.
Yeah.
And after obviously winning that and putting us in a nice place on the board, I guess a lot of weight's off our shoulders, and obviously coming off a loss from, like, we could have went undefeated if we beat Houston, but now we're like kind of got like a belief in ourselves, and like I said earlier, trust. So I guess I guess we're on a good track moving forward.
Definitely, yeah. We talked about that last week as well, kind of backing yourselves, right? In rugby in general, you got to back yourself. Got to have confidence. Got to be, willing to put yourself in the line and trust yourself and in your ability, right? I think you guys did that in a great way, and it was great to watch throughout the match. Kind of want to get into yourself as a player here. Great to talk about the match and kind of moving into next week. I'm sure the bye week's been very nice for you. Kind of talk about you a little bit more. Before your days in the MLR, you actually had the opportunity to come over to the U.S., play against Houston, and then your newer side in Seattle now. What was that experience like for you as a younger guy, and then how does that play into kind of your move to the MLR
now? I guess it was my first time in America, so coming here was like obviously exciting, and playing the squad like Houston. I think we beat them by like 10 points. Sam Windsor was in that team at that point. And then when we came to Seattle, we lost by 10 points, but it was both games were good. But I think obviously coming from New Zealand, and it's kind of we're kind of more chilled, kick back, similar to Australia. No, Aussie's a bit different still. But when I came to America, both the fans, especially in Seattle, the fans were like just different, eh? There might have been a couple hundred people there, but it felt like thousands.
Exactly.
And so when I got the opportunity to sign with the Seattle team, they gave, they hit me up, and I was just like, oh heck yeah, because with the kind of fans we got and that we have here and the support, it's just I guess it's a no-brainer really.
There you go. 100%, yeah. And watching that game kind of in New England, the fans and the atmosphere of that game kind of seemed to be the same thing you're talking about, right? Just electric. Even though there's not as many fans there as there might be in some of those New Zealand games back at home, still a phenomenal atmosphere. Probably a great place to play rugby at. Definitely probably feels good to have that kind of crowd behind you and kind of going through that match. So great to hear about that. Sam, it's been great to chat with you, my friend. Had a great time. To finish off, kind of want to ask you my personal favorite question, which I like to ask all my kind of guys that I talk to and women as well. How and why did you start playing rugby, and what kind of keeps you in that game, in that mindset today?
Uh, I guess oh, like how I started was through my dad.
There you go.
I lived in Australia at the time, and my dad signed me up to a rugby. I actually played rugby league first
Nice.
when I was 8, and then further on, a couple like probably like 8 years later, when I was 16, I was playing like union, and I played both, and then I kind of decided to play union because I enjoyed it more. I could obviously pick it from the ruck, or you can just do so many things in rugby compared to rugby league.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess now it's just I just obviously love for the sport, love the camaraderie with the boys and connecting with them, and obviously different boys in different walks of life, like coming to America, boys in New Zealand, Australia, and everybody in between. All the South Africans in my team, like getting to know them and what they get through. It's a cool experience, and obviously having the drive of my family here, my son and my partner. It's That's what keeps me going, and yeah.
There you go. 100%, Sam. Great to hear that kind of insight. I think, guys at any level of the game kind of have to focus on why they're doing it, right? What's kind of the purpose behind that? Why you get on the pitch every day? There's a lot of time that goes into rugby, right? And a lot of time you spend away from, things that you might need to do and things you might want to do as well. So I think it's great to kind of focus on those things and great to hear that from you. Again, my man, it's been great to chat to you today. Great to watch you in the match last week, and best of luck in the rest of the future. That's all I got for today.
Yeah, cheers, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck, brother.
You too.
Alrighty, guys. So that was a great little interview there to start off the day with Sam Matenga, prop for the Seattle Seawolves. Going to be the forward of the match from last week. Now we're going to move on to Dan Kriel. Going to go ahead and re-invite the Seawolves here and get Dan on the live here. Very excited to talk to him today as well. I'm going to get some great feedback and insight from him, and we'll kind of go ahead and get this started whenever he joins on here. So I do see that we had a question to answer. Who's the toughest prop you scrummed against? Gonna have to add that one into some of my interviews later on. Kind of love those kind of questions. If you guys have anything like that, we'd love to drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Kind of see what you guys are thinking about kind of what we're doing here. So love the feedback. Thank you very much. Just waiting for the Seawolves to get back on here, and then we'll go ahead and add Dan onto the live, and we'll get started. So. I'm going to go ahead and re-invite them. Looks like we're having some issues here. Maybe I'll look to invite Dan Kriel's account here. See if we can't get him on instead. His account. Just waiting for Dan to get on here, and then go ahead and start. Having some issues, not sure on which end. Here we go. Looks like we're looking to invite the Seawolves here. Unsure why. Here we go. Dan, how are we doing today?
Hey, how's it going, bud?
Doing very well. So just an introduction here. My name is Saucedo. I play rugby at the University of Utah. Today I'm with Barstool Rugby, showcasing you as a player, and then obviously your organization and kind of the team moving forward into the rest of the season. How are you and the body doing today after that big win on the weekend?
Yeah, good, man. Really good win for us away, week 8, and into the bye week this week. So body's healing up. Yeah, it's been a long 10 weeks on the trot, with the warm-up games and then straight into the season. But yeah, it feels like we sort of finally finding stride as a team. So it's been good.
There we go. 100%. Just give my followers and the community here a little bit of feedback, or an introduction on who you are. Dan is in his 3rd year in the MLR, number 12 for the Seawolves this season. He's been an excellent addition to the squad, both on and off the field, making 16 starts for the Seawolves in 2023. He was also named the S. Marcus Callaway Community Impact Award winner last year. Dan comes from a long line of elite rugby athletes, and off the field, he's made a massive impact to his community, and we're going to talk to you about that a little bit later. Just to start off with the game here, great matchup. Obviously, a phenomenal game to watch. New England was very creative. I thought you guys were too. A lot of kicking in that game, a lot of defense being played, a lot of hard phases kind of going through. And like I said last week on kind of those interviews, was each week you guys kind of put on a phenomenal performance, right? And each one of the games is kind of built up, and I think we're seeing kind of the best rugby being played here in the middle of the season. So it's been great to watch. What's kind of your feedback from that game, the finish from that game and the win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, champions of the league last year. Really good team, great game. I thought it was a really good performance from our side as our team. I think we've sort of been struggling in the early on, first few weeks of the season, sort of to start fast. So like I watched Sammy speaking earlier, it's really nice that we started to string full 80-minute performances together, which has been great.
Sir. 100%. So Sam talked about that a little bit last week too. Kind of that big focus was to really put that 80-minute performance on the table. Really be able to kind of show that team across from you that we're here to play and we're fit and ready to go for a full 80. I think you guys really did that. You guys really brought on a few subs kind of before that 80th or 75th minute there in the end of the game. I talked to Sam a little bit about this a few minutes ago. That big scrum, kind of when those three the front rowers for the Free Jacks came on, their substitutes. Big statement made there by the forward pack. What's it kind of like to play with that dominant forward pack, and then obviously the dynamics you guys have in the backs? What's kind of that bond between the team looking like now?
Yeah, it's been good, man. We obviously, we're very fortunate to have a really, healthy forward pack that gives us a good foundation, at set piece. And then, it's been, it's been a lot of changes this year, new additions to the squad, which has been really refreshing. And, we've got a good group of boys, good balance between sort of youth and, a bit more experienced guys. So it's been a really, really enjoyable season so far.
Yes, sir. 100%. So just talk about those kind of first 20 minutes of the match there. The Free Jacks put a try on the board pretty early after you guys kind of hit that penalty. Matt kind of drilled it there from, I believe, right outside your 22. We had a yellow card. Mac was able to dot down 2 more penalties, make it 9-7. You guys had a few big defensive stops and then flipped the field position. You were able to try right before the half there. What did that conversation in the back line look like in the locker room at halftime? What was kind of the mindset coming out of the half there?
There wasn't actually much said. I think we, as a backs unit, we sort of knew what, our plan was going into the game. Chris Latham's been a really good addition to us. He's put a lot of responsibility on the players, which is awesome. Sure, not much was said. It was just 20-minute blocks that we sort of focused on, and just take one step at a time.
Yeah, that's a great lookout or a great outlook there. I think some teams really struggle. Great teams really struggle with kind of starting off strong, right? A lot of great teams I've played on have really struggled with that start, and then really found their kind of stride moving into the second kind of quarter of that game, I guess you could say. And so you guys kind of did that very well. After kind of mistakes killed the ball in the first half, boys came out in the second half very smooth, able to put down 2 more tries with about 25 minutes left to play. Probably not the last 20 minutes that you guys would have wanted to put on the field. A few mistakes here and there, but we're able to finish it off strong. Kind of what's the takeaways from this game? Kind of already talked about that, but what's the kind of the mindset moving into Anthem next Friday?
I think it's just to sharpen our own sword, obviously focus on the thing, on the areas that we can improve on, and then just to not sort of look too far ahead and just, focus on the week ahead. We've obviously got a bye week this week, which has been good, so quite a few of the boys have gotten away. And then next week, it's just, same thing. It's just sharpening our sword and, focusing on us and doing what we can do.
There we go. Yeah, so Sam kind of had that same outlook, right? Talked about a little bit of the depth this year, kind of a lot of additions, a lot of new guys, and a lot of old guys too. Kind of building that depth and being able to keep everybody kind of healthy throughout the season. I'm sure this bye week has been phenomenal for you guys and being able to kind of fix a little of those things up here and there. So yeah, overall, great finish to the game, great win. Thought you guys really handled business on the field, and very excited to see what kind of the rest of the season holds for you guys. Now I kind of want to get a better player or a better look into you as a player. Going back to the beginning of your rugby journey, what was so special about this game for you, and then how has that grown for you throughout the years?
I think rugby it's always been a really special game worldwide. It's just the sort of team, the team aspect of that. You sort of rely on one another. I played rugby with my twin brother growing up, which is really special. So I think that's just what what really sort of takes the cake is just the team environment within a rugby team. It's a really special game, and it's awesome to see that it's growing in America.
Yes, 100%. You kind of talk about the family aspect there. Obviously, your brother has those 2 World Cups now under his belt. Kind of fresh off of that. What's kind of that experience been like for you? How have you guys kind of supported each other in your rugby journeys, and how's that like today?
Yeah, I mean he's my biggest critic. He's obviously watches our games. I watch his games too, and we chat quite a bit. And yeah, obviously second World Cup gold medals, it's huge for him. He had a couple of injuries along the way, and sort of cemented a spot back in the Springbok side during the World Cup. So yeah, it was good to see.
Yes, sir. 100%. I have a brother myself, and I already know biggest critics come from those kind of guys right there, right? Biggest supporters, but also the biggest critics, biggest haters, I would say, in all of our support systems. So great to hear kind of that bond there and kind of how you guys play off each other there. Moving into a little bit different stuff here. You were named the Callaway Community Impact Award winner last year. From my research, found that you're the director of Happy Bundles, a nonprofit organization, raises funds to donate gifts to kids with cancer. Talk about kind of that off the field impact. What does that kind of organization mean to you, and what has that experience been like for you?
So my wife was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer a couple of years ago, and she ended up having double mastectomy, going through chemotherapy, radiation, which was pretty scary. And during that time, we were pretty shocked to see the amount of kids, receiving treatment. So we decided to start this non-profit, this Happy Bundles, which is really close to our hearts. And yeah, we help kids all in South Africa and all over the States, sort of send them big boxes of, toys and gifts that they like and things that, can keep them busy in hospital, just to try and bring a moment of joy in their life. So it's been really rewarding and sort of nice to give back to the community.
Yes, sir, 100%. I think that's kind of one of the best things, one of the best perks, I guess, is having that platform, being a professional rugby player. You kind of have that opportunity to really make an impact in kind of whatever area you choose throughout the community and throughout the world, really. That's kind of what you've been doing. Through my research, I kind of was able to tap into that stuff a little bit, and I'll actually tag Happy Bundles after in the interview. But great to hear those kind of things, and great to see you making that impact off the field. I know that's kind of something that a lot of guys focus on, but also something that we really need from our rugby players and professional athletes is kind of that community impact. And I think that really helps you connect to the fan base and connects to the world as well. So it's great to see. Dan, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. Been great to talk about the game, a little bit about yourself, and talk about all kinds of stuff around those aspects. To finish off here, what are a few pieces of advice you have for younger guys in the game who are still looking to get these high-level opportunities on the pitch?
I mean, I think it's it's said quite often, but what you put in is sort of what you get out. It's obviously difficult at times. It's you sort of lose motivation and sort of lose sight of the end goal. But I think if I had anything to say, is just to really enjoy and embrace the journey. I mean, you meet incredible people along the way, and it goes quick. So like really embrace the players that you meet, the players that you play with, the friends that you make. And just enjoy it. What you put in is what you get out.
Yes, sir, 100%. That's great insight there. One of the things that I've kind of heard in the past few months about that kind of love for rugby and, pushing forward is every day that we have on the pitch is very limited, right? There's only a certain amount of time that your body allows you to play this game at a high level or kind of whatever level that is. We have to enjoy it, right? It's a great game. It's been a great impact on all of our lives, I'm sure. And, I think that's kind of the biggest focus for us is really enjoying that and really putting our effort in each and every day. So great to hear that from you. Dan, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. Great to hear your insight and, best of luck throughout the season.
Well, thanks, my bud. Yeah, thank you for having us on here, and hope we will chat soon.
Yes, sir, 100%. Go Seawolves.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Finish off the interviews today. Great to have those two guys on. Very excited to get these player of the match interviews in for you guys. Please check out kind of the interviews after the fact. I'm going to tag Happy Bundles, the nonprofit started by Dan and his wife, in the comments. So have those kind of pages up there for you to look at. Thank you for coming on today. I'm very excited to kind of move on. Next week, it's going to be a coach interview, actually. So the Seawolves are on bye week this week. Not going to be a match this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and talk to one of their coaches on Monday, I believe, and kind of get some of his insight on where the season's going, what kind of the goals are for this team, and kind of where that's been and how that's been looking throughout the year. So very excited for that. Very excited to keep this connection going. Thanks to the Seawolves and Barstool Rugby for having me on today. Super excited to keep this going and kind of, spread attention to the game and, get people really indulged in kind of what the MLR is and what it has to offer. So very excited for the rest of the year. Thank you guys for coming on today, and we'll see you guys next week.